Hello and welcome. In my last video I cooked up 3 of my favourite combinations of roasted vegetables, so if you haven't watched that video yet, you might like to watch it first. This time I'm using those roasted veggies in 6 delicious recipes. Plus I'm also including my homemade tomato sauce, a recipe I hope you'll find useful for lots of different meals. Now let's get cooking. To start, I'm making a warm salad of puy lentils and feta with a lemony dressing and topping it with some of the roasted green veg. I'm going to cook the lentils in a broth of vegetable stock and a little white wine. Use around 3 times the volume of water to lentils, plus just a splash of wine. While those cook, I'll make a little dressing for the lentils. I'm adding the juice of a lemon to 50 ml of macadamia oil. Add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Add plenty of salt. Grind in some pepper. The recipes for all the dishes I'm making today are in the description below. Now I'm adding just a little of the roasted garlic that I included when I roasted the green veg. Give it all a good whisk to combine everything. The lentils are tender now, so drain off any excess cooking liquid. Add a little of the lemony dressing to the pan and stir through. Now we're ready to dish up the lentils and top with the roasted green veg and some feta. A simple and nourishing main dish or a side dish for 2 people. Now let's move on to 2 recipes using the roasted root veggies. First, a smooth yet hearty soup with white beans and spices. This is one of my favourite soup recipes to make a large batch of and then freeze in portions. Heat 1 litre of vegetable stock in a large pan. To that I'm adding 1 roughly chopped onion and 2 crushed cloves of garlic. Then add 2 teaspoons of your favourite spice or dried herbs. I'm using garam masala for an Indian spice soup. I'm adding a grind of pepper, and you could add some salt if you like. Then stir and bring to the boil and simmer for 10 minutes. Add in the white beans. I'm using haricot, but you could also use cannellini. Now I'm going to add in the roasted root vegetables. I'm adding all the veg I roasted, but feel free to add only the ones you fancy in this particular soup. Sweet potato and parsnip would be delicious, for example, leaving the potatoes and carrots for another meal. Give everything a stir and then simmer for another 10 minutes. Then turn off the heat and blend to a smooth soup. If you're using an immersion blender like me, be careful to keep the blade below the surface of the soup to avoid too many splashes. You may need to add a little more water for a nice velvety soup. Keep patiently blending until you have the texture you desire. If you like, serve with a drizzle of cream and some buttered bread. For the second root vegetable recipe I'm going to share with you, I'm removing the baby potatoes, and we'll use them separately as a side dish later. I'm going to make a sweet zingy dressing based on olive oil, cider vinegar and runny honey. The root veg minus the potatoes is standing by. Let's turn up the flavour with some chilli flakes and salt, and then whisk into a delicious dressing. Add in the still warm root veg. And then give it a good stir to coat everything in the dressing. Transfer to a serving dish, making sure you don't leave any dressing behind. Then the honey, chilli, root vegetables are ready to serve. Now I'm going to make a tomato sauce that I'll use in the next 3 recipes. I'm going to start by heating some olive oil and butter in a large pan and adding some finely chopped shallots and crushed garlic. So many recipes start this way, and they are some of the most loved and useful in any cook's repertoire. Like most home cooks, I'm sure, I have a few different versions of tomato sauce to use in pasta dishes, chilli, as a pizza topping, and in many other dishes. Let me know in the comments what's in your favourite tomato sauce recipe. Leave the shallots and garlic to gently soften on a low heat, and let's turn our attention to the other sauce ingredients. In a bowl, I'm mixing together passata, red wine vinegar, red wine, paprika, smoked paprika, a touch of sugar, chopped parsley and some dried mixed herbs. Once the shallots and garlic have softened and started to caramelise, pour the beautiful bowl of tomatoey goodness into the pan. Stir together and continue to cook gently. Add in some salt and pepper. Let the sauce cook for around 10 minutes to let the flavours get well acquainted, and your lovely tomato sauce is done. Next, I'm going to use the finished sauce to make some Mediterranean-inspired tarts with capers and goat's cheese, couscous with pine nuts and mozzarella, and a delicious yet very simple pasta sauce. To make 2 tarts, I'm using 1/3 of a pack of puff pastry, cut in 2, and then scoring a border on each square. I also have around 1/4 of the Mediterranean roasted vegetables, 2 teaspoons of capers, and a beaten egg ready. Transfer the tarts to an oven tray lined with parchment paper. Spoon a little of the tomato sauce into the bowl of roasted vegetables. Add the capers to the bowl as well. Then mix the capers and sauce through the veg. Use the mixture to top the 2 tarts. You might not need it all, but any leftovers can be added to the couscous or pasta recipes. Give the pastry a light brush of egg. Bake at 180 degrees Celsius for 18 minutes. I've topped the baked tarts with a little goat's cheese, and you could also serve the roast baby potatoes alongside. To make the Mediterranean couscous, I'm adding some boiling water to whole wheat couscous. See the description below for all quantities for these recipes. Next, add a squeeze of lemon and a teaspoon of olive oil. I always add lemon and olive oil to couscous, whatever other flavours I'm going to add. Then sprinkle in some salt and a grind of pepper. Cover with cling film and leave to steam for 5 minutes. While that's happening, take another 1/4 of the roasted Mediterranean vegetables and add 1 to 2 tablespoons of the tomato sauce to them. Lightly toast 2 tablespoons of pine nuts in a frying pan. Cut 10 mini mozzarella balls in half. Release the couscous from the cling film and fork through the grains. Add in the toasted pine nuts. Give those a little stir into the couscous. Then mix the sauce through the veg and add that to the couscous as well. Finally, add in the mini mozzarella. Stir everything together well and your Mediterranean couscous with pine nuts and mozzarella is done. This is as delicious eaten hot or cold and ideal to pack for a work lunch or picnic. The final recipe, thanks for watching if you've made it this far, is a simple but really tasty pasta sauce. I like to chop the roasted peppers, aubergine and courgettes into smaller pieces for this sauce, but you can of course leave them at their original sizes. I also have the final half of the tomato sauce ready in a bowl. Transfer the chopped veg to the tomato sauce. I'm loving using this new wooden spatula I bought recently. If you also love using new kitchen gadgets, however low tech, then hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Stir the chopped veg into the tomato sauce. When you're ready to cook your pasta meal, simply boil the pasta and heat up the tomato sauce at the same time. I'm using dry tagliatelle, which is one of my favourites, but use whatever type of pasta you prefer. Drain the pasta and return it to the pan. Then add the hot tomato vegetable sauce and stir through the pasta. Grate on some hard cheese of your choice if you like, and serve with garlic bread. My cheese of choice for this kind of recipe is always goat's gouda, a tangy vegetarian cheese. If you can't find that, then there are some good vegetarian Parmesan style cheeses available now. Then dig in. Simple enough for a weeknight dinner, but special enough for an elegant meal. I hope you give this pasta dish a go yourself. If you've enjoyed watching this video, then I hope you subscribe and return soon for more recipes. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.